Sophomore, also standing 6'2", number 22, Troy Bowman. Your forwards, number 32, a senior at 6'3", Jeff Boer. And number 42, a senior at 6'8", Chris Counts. The center for the Jackrabbits this evening, number 54, a junior at 6'8", Pete Leiferman. The Jackrabbits head coach, Jim Thorson. For the University of Nebraska at Omaha. Your guards tonight, number 10, a junior standing 5'9", meet Ron Walker. With Ron, a senior standing 6'2", number 20, Thad Mott. In the Maverick forecourt, number 30, a sophomore at 6'7", Mike Conley. Joining Mike, number 44, a sophomore standing 6'5", Ryan Elrod. The Maverick center, number 50, at 6'11", a senior, Phil Haas Cartwright. Now in his 23rd season, Bob Hansen. Your officials tonight, as assigned by the North Central Conference, Mike Spanier, Pete Hansen, and Dwayne Fiala.
You know, I think we could have gotten a big red play-by-play in somewhere in there before this game got going.
Bill, I got to tell you, if our viewers had a chance to see UNO go through their high fives and whatever, I think it took them longer to learn that pre-game high five than it did to learn the plays for the basketball team.
Chris White is the go-to guy for the Jacks. Troy Bowman is the other guard. Leiferman will go against Cartwright in the middle. Boer and Counts are the starting five for the Jacks. For the Mavericks, Ron Walker is the quick point guard. Thad Mott, a good outside shooter. Cartwright is the big man in the middle for UNO. Conley and Elrod. The starting five and the starting 10 now are out on the court, and we're ready to go with North Central Conference basketball action. It's Cartwright jumping center with Boer. And just to make sure that there's air in the basketball, apparently. Check that's Counts that'll jump center. And the tip is controlled by the Jacks. This is Boer off the glass, no good. And Conley with the rebound.
Cartwright doing what he does best right off the bat, got a big rebound, and if he can control the boards, that'll really help UNO tonight.
Elrod, back out top to Thad Mott. Mott's a good outside shooter. He's guarded by Chris White. This is Walker. Walker is outstanding quickness. Has Division I quickness, just doesn't have Division I size. Otherwise, he might be playing in some big school somewhere. On the outside, now driving baseline. He's not afraid to take it down there either. UNO is not afraid to take some time off the clock. Shot by Mott is no good. Rebound fought for, and who'll come away with it is Elrod. Still a fight for it. And Bowman comes away, and here come the Jackrabbits. This is Chris White. Jump shot is up and in, and South Dakota State is on the board 2-0.
Bill, we're going to see mostly man-to-man defense tonight. North Central Conference teams all like to play man-to-man. Both of these teams play man-to-man almost exclusively, and we'll see a lot of it tonight.
Elrod in the corner, guarded by Boer. Swing it around to Mott. Look for UNO to try and get it inside to Cartwright as much as possible. Pete Leiferman is the big man for South Dakota State. And right now, Cartwright trying to work his way onto the ball side, and now has it down low. Conley, two-pointer is good, and UNO has tied it up.
Great job of kicking the ball out by Cartwright. Cartwright saw the open man. Conley, who Coach Bob Hansen calls the most improved player on UNO's team, hits the two-pointer.
Chris White, you have to guard him just about everywhere on the court. Boer, the reverse layup won't go. Rebound by the Mavericks. It's Elrod.
Nice job of defense by Cartwright underneath the hoop for UNO.
This is Walker taking it to the hole. And a charging foul is called. Good play, good positioning by Counts. First foul of the game.
And I think Walker's the guy they don't want to lose. Good job by Counts getting position on Walker. Walker can't afford to get in foul trouble, although Stubblefield has come off the bench, played pretty good at the point for UNO.
This is Brewer. Out top to Counts. Nice pass inside to Leiferman. Off the glass and in for 2 Jacks. Some pressure applied now by South Dakota State. That's no mystery. Most teams are used to that from SDSU. Swing it around Conley on the skip pass. Now back out top to Elrod. Over to Walker. Thought about the 3. Nice move. Takes the 2 and misses badly. Rebound picked up by Leiferman, and White wants to run. Good call. Charging is called against Chris White. His first foul of the game. Good job by Thad Mott getting back defensively.
Mott very, very quick, and look how he moves his feet. He got in position. He was moving a little bit, but he was in position, and you can go ahead and move on the charge call as long as you are going in a straight line, and he was going in a lateral line and got the charging call.
And White extending his arm, and that's usually a telltale sign of picking up a foul. Nice steal by Boer. 1-on-2, takes it all the way up and in. Nice defensive play by Jeff Boer.
South Dakota State will run a man-to-man press and try to trap on the side almost the whole game. In fact, they have 10 variations of that same press.
Walker wanted a foul there, didn't get called. Elrod, baseline low to Cartwright, turnaround jumper won't go. Conley keeps it alive, pulls down the rebound, fights in traffic, forces one up. Knocked out of bounds to South Dakota State.
You know, one thing, Bill, UNO can't really afford to get far behind here early. It looks like Chris White is hurt. Chris White would be a big loss. Bob Hansen looking across the way, and boy, Chris White, they just can't, South Dakota State can't afford to lose him, and he'll go sit down for a little bit.
Brian Natchez checks into the lineup for Chris White. Chris White coming into the ballgame, averaging 23.5 points a game. And as I said, how goes Chris White, so goes the Jackrabbits. Natchez comes in, he's the 6th man off the bench. We would have seen him rather soon anyway. Comes in, averaging 7 points a ballgame. Brewer out top, good pick by Counts. Counts with Walker on him. Walker picks his pocket. Can he go the rest of the way? Complete it. No, he can't. Rebound pulled down by Natchez. Probably an ill-advised shot by Ron Walker. The Mavs are back defensively. Leiferman on Cartwright. High shot won't go. That's the presence of Phil Cartwright.
He might have even caught a piece of that, but Cartwright, I think the all-time leading shot blocker here at UNO, both season and career.
If so, that's his 44th block of the season, which would tie his season record. This is Cartwright with Leiferman on him. Jackson, that man. Walker. Guarded by Bowman. Jumper from Conley is no good. There's Phil Cartwright doing what he does best, and that's rebounding the basketball. Walker's shot won't go. Ball knocked out of bounds by South Dakota State, and the Mavericks maintain possession.
UNO will have to hit some of those 10 to 12 footers like Walker took, because Cartwright did a great job of kicking the ball out. When you're the big man inside, you know a lot of people guarding you. You know there's going to be pressure on you, so you have to find the open guy, and that makes you a better player. As we see Chris White re-enter the lineup for South Dakota State, and I know the Jackrabbits will be very happy about that.
Walker inbounding the ball. Trying to inbound the ball. And finally does to Cartwright. Has an open lane, puts up the jumper. It won't go. That's a problem he had last night. Many of those short shots would not go for him. White picked up by Mott. Both teams in the man-to-man defense. Mott, good defense on White. Knocked away by Conley. Cartwright came over to help on Chris White. That let Leiferman open.
One of the keys on that defensive series there was the fact that Mott made White pick up his dribble. When you do that, you have a great chance of getting the basketball, and they almost came up with the steal.
He's dangerous from anywhere, but in traffic, it's up. This is White guarded by Mott. Natchez, nearly a steal by Walker.
Boy, Mott has come to play. Look at the intensity of Thad Mott right now and Chris White. And they made him pick up the dribble again. Great job by Thad Mott.
South Dakota State a little out of sync offensively. There was a blown opportunity. Good pass inside to Chris Counts. He couldn't handle the pass, and UNO goes the other way on the turnover. Walker now with the offense spread along the baseline.
I think Bill Walker might be a little frustrated after missing that layup earlier in the game. He's a little shy about driving inside, and that's his forte.
He had 19 last night. Pass from Elrod to Conley is intercepted, and another turnover on the Mavericks. White will set things up. He can play anywhere, the off-guard, small forward, or point guard. He's running the point right now for SDSU.
It looks like UNO is trying to force SDS to shoot from the outside. The Jacks are just having a hard time getting the ball inside, and I think we're going to see a new player into the game for UNO now.
Tony Stubblefield comes in, and Thad Mott comes out. Stubblefield now is charged with guarding Chris White.
Bob Hansen told me that Stubblefield was one of the reasons why they had that 4-game winning streak, because he came in and played such a great role.
Stubblefield's a 6'4" junior from Broomfield, Colorado.
And he just makes a great block there. They got the pass inside, but Stubblefield came from the weak side and got the good block on Ryan Natchez.
Stubblefield's in there for his defense. He only averages about 4 points a ball game. And look for him to turn up the intensity a little bit right here. White has it out top. Over to Boer. Swing it around to Natchez. Haven't heard a lot from Leiferman down low. This is Boer with the turnaround jumper. It won't go, and Cartwright with the rebound.
I don't think South Dakota State comfortable with the slow-down offense right now.
Ball knocked around, and Walker recovers. Swings it cross court over to Stubblefield. Quick pass to Elrod. Drives baseline, and a foul will be called on South Dakota State. Bob Hansen, his 23rd year at UNO, has not taken a team to the playoffs since 1984.
Good head fake by Ryan Elrod. Drives the baseline and draws the foul, and Elrod did that with the initial fake. Ryan has improved his game so much just since he's been here at UNO. Of course, an outstanding player at Northeast High School in Lincoln, but has really picked up his intensity here at the Division II level.
Cory Vandewetering has checked in for South Dakota State. He now guards Cartwright. Kicks it out top to Elrod. Drives the lane. Jumper is in and out. Won't go. And rebound pulled down by Natchez. 6-2 South Dakota State. 13-18 remaining in the first half.
And the Jacks try to push it up court, but UNO gets their defense back. So good transition defense by the Mavericks, and that's something they'll have to do, is keep the pace slowed down.
UNO only 2 points in the first 7 minutes of the ball game, but South Dakota State, a team that averaged 85 points a game, or does average 85 points a game, only 6 points, so this is definitely a defensive struggle. Both teams are maybe a little bit nervous of the fact that they're playing on the road. There's a turnaround jumper. It won't go. And Stubblefield comes away with it, and UNO wants to run. Not just the defense.
Cartwright almost tipped that in for South Dakota State.
Pass knocked away. And the South Dakota State Jackrabbits have a free opportunity here. White, nice job by Ryan Natchez to get the ball to Chris White. And White with 4 points now in the game. 8-2 South Dakota State. Things were a little bit sloppy here in the early going, especially for UNO.
Good job by Stubblefield recognizing the press there and got out of the trap, dribbled away from the trap. That was a great job by Walker.
Stubblefield, top of the key to Cartwright. You won't see Phil Cartwright doing much offense outside of the paint area. There he goes to work down low, misses the shot, rebound pulled down by South Dakota State. Mitch Lane is coming to the ball game, number 34. This is the jumper from Natchez. It won't go. High for the rebound is Ray Howard, knocked out of bounds by Timmerman. And UNO has possession. 8-2 with 11:57 remaining in the first half. Troy Bauman has come back in for South Dakota State, and Ryan Natchez checks out.
Ray Howard, a very interesting story for UNO. 27 years old, had a stint in the Army, played some college ball earlier in his life, had a knee injury, and has really overcome a lot of diversity and made himself a good ball player.
Played for Terry Shellstead, Omaha Benson in high school. UNO's offense spread way out right now. This is Stubblefield, guarded by White. Stubblefield lost the dribble. Howard comes up to help now. Walker, the point guard, is playing off the basketball now. Stubblefield drives the baseline to Cartwright. There's a cross-court pass to Walker. Three-point goal won't go. Rebound by Elrod up and in. It won't go. Cartwright taps twice. It won't go. Rebound fought for, out of bounds, and it belongs to UNO.
Well, that's one of those things you call a moral victory, because even though UNO didn't get the basket there, they got the ball back, but they also showed their intensity. They really haven't been able to generate much offense, evident by the 8-2 score, but they're doing the right thing, getting the ball inside.
Thad Mott checks in. UNO's only points coming on a jump shot by Mike Conley. Cartwright looking for the hook shot, and a foul is called. Jim Thorson and company didn't like it. And the foul is called on Brad Timmerman. That's his first.
Cartwright Cartwright right there determined to go to the hoop and caught from the backside, but Cartwright is not giving up. He's still going to go to the hoop, and that's what he needs to do. If he doesn't get the hoop, at least get to the free throw line. Now he has to hit the free throws.
Cartwright coming in a 63% free throw shooter on the season, averaging over 18 points a game. And finally, UNO is off to number 2. 8-3 South Dakota State, 11-11 remaining in the first half. 6'11" senior out of St. Louis Park, Minnesota.
And as we mentioned in our pregame, a chance to be the North Central Conference Player of the Year, but last night's game not going to help his cause. He's off to a rocky start a little bit tonight.
Bauman guarded by Walker. This is Chris White. Mott is checked back in, and maybe that's Bob Hansen's strategy, is to use a platoon system on Chris White. Basket up and in by Bauman. 10-4 South Dakota State. The Jacks again with that pressure defense, and Mott now left alone and passes over to Cartwright, and he's fouled. Foul will be called on 44, Cory Vandewetering.
Well, Vandewetering makes a determination early right here to go ahead and commit the foul, and he did a good job of making sure that Cartwright didn't get the hoop. And that's sometimes you see high school players not remember to do that. They go ahead and commit the foul, and then the player able to muscle up and get it in. But a good job by Vandewetering of making sure Cartwright didn't get the hoop and have a chance for a three-point play, but he does hit the first free throw.
Not a bad idea to put UNO at the line either and force them to earn their points coming into the game, just hitting 62% from the line. This is the free throw. Rebound by Howard up off the glass. It won't go. Rebound Chris White. Here come the Jacks. Timmerman left alone. Stubblefield over. Turnaround jumper. It won't go. Yes, it does. Brad Timmerman with 2. And the lead is back to 7, 12-5. 10.5 minutes remaining in the first half. Howard lost his dribble and threw it away. Cartwright recovers. But Timmerman comes away with the basketball, and here comes South Dakota State. White will take the jumper, the three-pointer. It rattles home. 15-5. The lead is 10 with 10 to play in the first half.
Bob Hansen's got to be thinking timeout right now, but he's still standing over there, his hands full, so he's not going to take it, but they're down by 10, and there's another steal.
Bauman got away with the travel. White with the layup up and in, and the lead is now 12, and Hansen is looking for the timeout. 17-5 South Dakota State, 9:48 to play, and maybe Bob Hansen waited a little bit too long to take that timeout.
Well, you could tell his team was rattled, and now Bob Hansen's just going to take his assistant coaches out on the floor and discuss what's going on. But Chris White showing how explosive he can be, hit the three-pointer, came back, got another 2 just like that. Chris White able to rack up 9 points, and great steal by the Jacks. Troy Bauman, he finds the open White. White showing his great leaping ability, gets it up over the defense, and South Dakota State off and running, and that's what they like to do. So very quickly, UNO find themselves down by the points here at home, by the 12 points, and they, as I mentioned earlier, they can't really afford to get too far behind because they're not a fast break type of team.
17-5 the score, 9:48 remaining in the first. We'll be in Lincoln at the Devaney Sports Center 1 week from tonight for NCAA Wrestling. Tim Newman's Cornhuskers are grappling way through the Big 8 Conference, and next up is the powerful Oklahoma Sooners. This will be a great meet if you can't be there in person, so join us next Saturday, February 15th, live at 7:30 as the Huskers meet the Sooners here on Nebraska Public Television.
Well, UNO having trouble getting the ball up against this trapping press of South Dakota State. They do a great job of trapping the ball. Bauman gets the steal, now finds the open White. White did a great job of breaking to the hoop the minute he saw the steal, and an easy 2 for South Dakota State. Great execution there by the Jackrabbits, putting the press on and then converting it into hoop, and that's something that their coach says that they do best.
South Dakota State forcing the Mavericks to play 94 feet. This is Mott. And a good job by Bauman to cut off the baseline. Stubblefield drives, dishes off to Cartwright, knocked away by Troy Bauman. And here comes SDSU. Long pass, too far for Lane. And he's out of bounds, turnover back to the Mavericks.
Did you see that smart play by Thad Mott? Mott saw that the Jacks player was getting down there to throw the ball in, and he got himself in position to pick it up in case he did save the ball in.
Looping pass to Stubblefield. Takes it himself for the 2. 17-7 now. The lead is back to 10.
Much needed hoop by the Mavs.
Last night, UNO came in against Augustana shooting the three-point shot. They didn't have a lot of success. And then when they fell behind by 10, 7, whatever points, they were not able to convert the three-point shot. So they got away from their game plan a little bit. and that is to get the ball to Phil Cartwright as we have a held ball.
Looks like the possession arrow
should belong to UNO. And it does. The Mavericks will take the ball out underneath South Dakota State's basket.
Hard time by South Dakota State handling that ball inside. They have not done a good job of catching the ball inside. UNO doing a good job of getting on the ball. Now both coaches starting to substitute quite a bit. South Dakota State substituting quite more frequently than UNO. But UNO bringing in Sven Bondi now, the big 6'7" junior.
And Phil Cartwright will take a rest. Also into the game for South Dakota State is Shannon Dana, a backup point guard. Bauman takes a seat. 8:55 to play. This is Bondi. Mavs break the press. And they'll set up the offense. Mott back out top to Stubblefield. UNO not able to penetrate the ball into that defense of South Dakota State. Walker down in the corner. Bondi had an open lane and chose to pass it up. Mott drives baseline off the glass and in. South Dakota State wanted to travel. They didn't get it. The lead is 8.
You notice how UNO had to change their offense without Cartwright in there. Not able to get it inside, but able to open up the lanes and get penetration.
Chris White now, right wing. Over to Dana, guarded by Stubblefield. 17-9, Jacks on top. Ball knocked out of bounds by Ron Walker. Mike Conley getting set to check back into the Maverick lineup. Number 30. And Walker takes a seat. So the Mavericks now really without a true point guard. Mott is on the floor, and Stubblefield has been running it, but really the man that runs the show for UNO is Ron Walker. Shannon Dana, guarded by Stubblefield. Mitch Lane. Lane, a freshman from Inglewood, Colorado. Young lineup on the floor for South Dakota State. Lane with a wild shot. Bondi with the rebound, and Mott wants to run. 1-on-2. He's got a trailer. Takes it himself. Good trail by Conley.
That whole thing actually started by the great outlet pass by Bondi. Super outlet pass, and Conley did the smart thing of following up and got the hoop. And boy, after that timeout, they were down by 12, and now UNO just down by 6. Great timeout by Bob Hansen.
7.5 to play in the first. Bondi comes in and will give you added defense. There's a shot up and off by Leiferman, and the rebound pulled down by Bondi. In game 1, up in Brookings, Bondi came in, just added 2 points, but pulled down 7 rebounds. Mott dishes to Howard off the glass. 17-13, and Corson wants a timeout. The UNO Mavericks found themselves down by 12. And as you said, a wise timeout called by Bob Hansen. They come back strong against that trapping press defense, got the ball up, and made some big plays. They now trail by 4.
I think the most interesting thing is the change of complex of UNO, the change of the complexion of UNO without Phil Cartwright in there. They seem to be a little bit more balanced, looking around. Not that Phil Cartwright isn't important, but a super job by Mott now, recognizing the open lane, penetrates to the hoop, dishes off to Howard, and Howard finishes off the play. So good execution by both players there. Also, I think there were some good picks in there as well. But great execution, Mott making the penetration, Howard getting open. Now, a lot of times, a player will just stand around, but Howard getting open and then finishing off the play, so important. So UNO down by 12, now down by the 4 points. So super comeback, and I think is Cartwright going to come back in? Looks like Phil Cartwright might come back into the lineup, and let's see how this changes things. No, Phil's just helping Sven Bondi out a little bit. Phil will stay on the bench and get a rest, and Bob Hansen says, hey, why should I change players when things are going all right? Jim Thorson still has his troops in the huddle. Now he'll send them out there. Again, a very, very crucial game for both teams.
Field goal shooting through the midway portion of the first half. The Jackrabbits 8 of 16, 50%. The Mavericks ice cold, 5 of 19, just 26%. Missed several shots in close, in particular Phil Cartwright.
Well, they got to feel good with that terrible shooting percentage to be down only 4 points.
Bondi's going to be called for the foul. One thing you notice since Stubblefield has come in for UNO, the defensive intensity for the Mavericks has picked up.
Well, Bondi just didn't get in position there and kind of reached around, and Sven has lost a step since his injury earlier in the season.
2 team fouls now on the Mavericks. Bondi knocks the ball away from Vandewetering, and Stubblefield comes the other way. UNO trying to cut into that 4-point lead. Conley for 3, got it. 17-16, the
silent player for UNO, just a very steady player, does his job and knocks a big one home there.
Howard knocks it away. Stubblefield wants to run 3-on-3 now. And wisely pulls the ball out. Bondi now. And UNO going to their set offense looking for the lead.
Great job by Bondi pulling the ball out and letting Stubblefield set up the play. That was a very intelligent play.
6:19 remaining in the first half. South Dakota State led by as many as 12, 17-5 when Bob Hansen called timeout.
South Dakota State looks like they switched to a zone. Don't see that very often from them.
Conley inside to Howard. Swing it around to Mott. This is Howard again. Goes to the baseline. High shot won't go. Conley keeps it alive, but out of bounds. It looked like Bondi may have had a chance to recover the ball, but just went behind his head and will go the other way to South Dakota State.
Boy, Howard shot that from way in back of the backboard. Shot I was making earlier today, Bill, but he was way behind there, and just kind of a tough shot for him. But I think South Dakota switching to that zone really threw him off, really threw UNO off on that trip.
5:45 to play in the first half. Bauman drives baseline off the glass and in. 19-16 South Dakota State. Troy Bauman, a 6'2 sophomore from Holland, Minnesota, played all 32 games a year ago for South Dakota State as a reserve, then was moved to small forward because of injury. Now he's the point guard. This is Natchez. Kicks Stubblefield's pocket and goes the other way on the fast break. Doesn't have the numbers and Stubblefield fouls him. And Bondi fell on Natchez. And Natchez didn't like it.
Well, that just shows you the intensity of this game, and now they go over and shake hands. There's not going to be any problem here. It's just a very, very intense game, and really it looked like UNO had a chance to pick up the charge, but instead Stubblefield came down and committed the foul. Stubblefield just kind of reached in, but he did a good job of making sure he wasn't going to get the shot. That was a very important thing to do, is make sure if you're going to foul, don't let him get the hoop.
Third team foul of the half on the Mavericks. 19-16 South Dakota State on top. Ryan Natchez to the line. He'll shoot a pair and misses the first. Natchez on the season hitting 80% from the line, just 19 of 24 on the season.
That was the first free throw shot by South Dakota State in the game so far.
6'2 sophomore from Milford, Iowa. Misses both of them. Rebound pulled down by Boer, up and in. Big play by Jeff Boer coming in from the weak side to pick up the rebound. And Boer now with 4 points in the game. And the lead is up to 5, 21-16. Walker, Bondi swinging around the other side now. Conley back out top. Without Cartwright in the lineup for the Mavericks, you would anticipate they're looking now for the outside game instead of going inside, especially with Bondi posted so high. And one thing you'll see from a Bob Hansen coach team is patience. They're willing to work the ball around for the right shot. Now 10 seconds on the shot clock. Conley thinks he has it, and he does with a three-pointer. 21-19. 4.5 to play in the first.
UNO has to show that they can break the zone. They had two big three-pointers now by Conley. South Dakota State had to turn this game back around with that zone. Let's see if they stay in it next trip down the floor.
Mike Conley now with back-to-back three-pointers for the Mavericks. He has 10 points in the game. And the Jacks lead is 2. Boer drives baseline off the glass. It won't go, but a foul will be called on Ron Walker. Good quick move to the baseline by Boer. Cartwright checks back into the UNO lineup, and Chris White comes back in for South Dakota State.
That's Walker's second foul, too, and you hate to see that as far as UNO is concerned, because as you mentioned, Bill, Ron Walker's so key in running the offense, and I think Bob Hansen, realizing that, going to have Walker come out and bring Thad Mott in for him, and that really changes things up for UNO.
Boer to the line, a 64% free throw shooter. Oh, we had an 80% shooter up there missing 2 free throws, and now we got a 64% free throw shooter who has been a little bit worse in conference play, under 60%, and he hits both of them. 23-19, South Dakota State, 4:09 to play. Both teams now with 4 team fouls in the half. Stubblefield runs the point for the Mavericks. Cartwright again is back in, and UNO going with the bigger lineup. Bondi is also in there. Vandewetering is the man guarding Cartwright for South Dakota State in the zone. This is Cartwright. High shot is up and in.
That's what Phil needed, get some confidence. His first field goal, he does have 5 points, but his first field goal, and you could tell he wanted to go for it. He has the matchup size inside. If he can hit that turnaround jumper, UNO will have a heck of a chance to stay in this ball game, but trail by 2 right now.
Vandewetering is 6'9", Cartwright 6'11". Vandewetering with the basketball. This is Bowman. Stubblefield picked his pocket, knocked it out of bounds. It went off Stubblefield, and South Dakota State has possession.
Well, UNO has done a good job of coming back from that 12-point deficit, Bill, and they've done it on some good defense. Let's see how they do here.
UNO trailed at 1 point, 17-5, with about 10 minutes to play in the first half. Bob Hansen called a timeout. Chris White with a jump shot. It won't go. Knocked around. White gets the rebound, puts it back up and in. All he needed to do was back up a little bit more.
Chris White showing his athletic ability of basically shooting that off balance and giving the Jacks a 4-point lead.
25-21, 3 minutes remaining in the first half. This is Mott looking inside for Bondi. Now he's in trouble, lost his dribble. This is Bondi now. Turnaround jumper, just short. Rebound by Boer. Jacks looking to extend the lead. Stubblefield picking up Boer, swings it around to Bauman. UNO remains in the man-to-man defense. South Dakota State went to the zone. This is Boer to White. Boer with the three-pointer. It goes. 28-21 now. The lead is back up to 7 with 2.5 minutes remaining in the first half. And again, South Dakota State in that trapping press. This is Bondi. Showing some good ball handling.
Well, Bondi has really added to UNO since he's coming to the ball game. I think he's added a lot of different things, and one of them has been speed and ball handling ability.
Especially for a big man. Conley swings it around to Cartwright.
South Dakota State has gone back to their man-to-man defense now. A little surprised at that.
And now inside 2 minutes remaining in the first half. 15 seconds on the shot clock. 28-21 SDSU. Cartwright drops to the baseline. Ball knocked around, kicked out of bounds. It'll go to South Dakota State.
Well, Phil, that time might have maybe put the ball to the floor a little bit too much. He's a better offensive player when Cartwright just takes the ball right to the hoop instead of trying to set up the hoop. And they kind of picked his pocket. South Dakota State back to that 7-point lead and have done a good job defensively.
Pete Leiferman has come back in for South Dakota State. 6'8" starting center for the Jackrabbits. Boer guarded by Conley. 28-21, a minute and a half to play. Chris White, quick jump shot from 3, in and out, won't go. Rebound is pulled down by Thad Mott. Stubblefield with the running jumper, it doesn't go. Leiferman with the easy rebound. Tried to outlet it to Chris White, but a good job by Thad Mott to stop the fast break. Coming up on a minute remaining, this is Bauman. Off the glass, won't go. Cartwright with the rebound, and he's fouled by Leiferman.
That could be really important right there, Bill, for a couple of reasons. One, they denied the hoop. Cartwright gets the rebound, establishes some rebounding ability, and then is fouled as he goes up for the ball. Leiferman comes over, catches him on the arm, and that gives UNO a chance to cut into the 7-point lead with only 1:07 to go. And very important as you go into halftime of not being too far behind.
Coming up on the 1-minute mark. This game being played in terms of score on UNO's pace. South Dakota State coming in averaging 85 points a game, but just 77 points a game in the conference. They were beating teams by an average of 17 points in non-conference play. Cartwright with the jump hook. It goes.
He was double-teamed and still able to get up over top the defense. Outstanding play by Cartwright. That's why he is so good, able to get up over the defense.
7 points in the game for Cartwright. Pass inside, knocked around. Boer thought about the jumper. Passed it back out top to Counts. Count drives left. Off of Bondi. High off the glass and in. 30-23. South Dakota State with the 7-point lead. 20 seconds remaining in the half.
UNO will go for one here and just try to go into the locker room at halftime down by 5 or 4, depending if they get a 2 or 3-pointer.
Inside 10 seconds now. Mott drives on Bowman. Drives into the lane, gets into traffic, and picks up a foul. It'll be called on 42, Chris Counts. So with 3 seconds on the clock, UNO will have a chance at a couple of freebies. Good job by Mott to get around Bowman. That's the kind of play that Ron Walker makes, driving into the lane and putting up the shot. Either drawing the foul or at least getting a basket out of it. Mott coming into the game, 76% free throw shooter on the season. And he makes the first. The lead is 6 now.
I think Thad Mott did a good job of selling that he was actually going to the hoop, but it looked to me on the replay like he was possibly going to pass it off, but he is just an outstanding penetrator into the lane.
Mott's second one is also good. Long inbound pass is intercepted by Mott. A chance for the three. No, just short. But a good first half for UNO in terms of the fact that they were down by as many as 12 in the first half at one point. Our halftime score here at the UNO Fieldhouse, South Dakota State 30, University of Nebraska-Omaha 25. We'll return with halftime activities after these few messages.
Consider taking a journey through today's news. Then consider taking along a friend. All things considered, a different kind of news. Consider how the world opens up, how refreshingly intelligent the news can be. Consider the fascinating people you'll meet, the unexplored roads you'll take. All things considered from National Public Radio. We think you'll find the difference considerable.
Every day at 4 Central, 3 Mountain on South Dakota Public Radio.
After recess, it's time for math class.
Good boy.
Animals are even smarter than you think. And the old roller coaster is getting a new twist. Come along for the ride next time on Scientific American Frontiers.
Wednesday at 7.
Hello, this is Garrison Keillor. My radio show is coming to television, believe it or not, a show filled with odd humor by bald guys and terrific music by the young and handsome and stories by guys who talk slow. So please join us.
Join us Wednesday at 8.
Hi, I'm Jeff Smith of Frugal Gourmet, and our whole family kitchen has an incredible surprise for you, a special with Elmo as assistant chef and all kinds of wonderful people. We're going to do lamb and pork and shrimp and smoked chickens, but most of all, we're going to talk about safety in the kitchen and cooking with the whole family. So join us for a special with Elmo and the Frug.
Join us.
Join us for Festival, starting March 7th. This is the South Dakota Public Television Network.
Time of tonight's game between the University of Nebraska-Omaha and South Dakota State. Both teams, of course, are members of the North Central Conference, and the man who is in charge of running this 10-team league and making sure things go very smoothly is the commissioner, Noel Olson. And Noel, a lot of people have talked about the way the race in the North Central Conference is going in terms of men's basketball this year. It's very interesting.
Well, we always say this is the best conference in the nation, Division II. We always say it has the toughest race, both in the men's and women's league. But this year, we really mean it. I've never seen anything like it. If the home teams would all win today, I don't know who would be in first place. I was looking at the schedule, and I think probably if a team could win this thing with 6 losses and be the conference champion. If every team wins tonight in terms of the home teams, there's only one game separating all of them. That's incredible. But the success that the North Central Conference has had over the years has been remarkable as well, and that's one of the reasons why it's one of the best conferences in the country. Well, we're strong nationally, and we're really proud of that. I think all over the nation they really look at us as the premier Division II conference, and we're in an area where there isn't much Division I. You know, from Lincoln to the Canadian border and from Minneapolis to Denver, there just isn't any Division I in between, and so we kind of feel we're the Division I, the main show in town as far as college athletics, and that's helped us. We have good crowds in most of our areas because they are the big show in town, and we really enjoy the competition. And there's been great competition, wrestling, women's basketball, men's basketball in terms of national championships and the way the team performs nationally. Last year we had 4 national champions. We had in women's basketball, we had North Dakota State as a champion. Women's softball, Augustana was a champion. Omaha, Nebraska-Omaha won the wrestling, and then North Dakota State, of course, the perennial football power, won the football. We haven't won any yet this year, but we're hoping there'll be some yet.
And this is a busy time of year for you, especially with so many sports going on at the same time and overlapping the schedules and what have you.
Well, I'm on the road almost every weekend, and we'll be coming into some of our other tournaments, and you know, we have the women's events too, and we always say that it took us only long. We figured out men's athletics was very valuable way back in 1921. It took us only 60 years to figure out that it was good for men, it was good for women too. And in 1981 we started our women's programs, at least roughly that time, and in 10 years they're relatively as strong as the men or stronger nationally.
One of the things that makes the Division II and especially the North Central Conference so intriguing is the fact that they're well represented on the Division I level. And speaking specifically of Bob Hansen, UNO basketball coach, around for 23 years, he has a lot to say in what goes on in basketball in this country.
Yes, he's got a very important position, very honestly, because there's only a couple of Division II people on the National Association of Basketball Coaches board, and he's all Division I people there, and so he has to kind of fight for our rights with all these Division I people, and he's done a great job of it. He's our veteran coach in the league, has been around a long time, and has worked very, very hard for the betterment of Division II basketball, and of course, for the North Central Conference.
One of the things that you touched on last night when we were talking was one area that you have improved greatly on in the last couple of years, and people may not recognize it, and you kind of developed a problem for yourself, and that's in officiating.
You would bring that up, of course. Officiating is the one I get the most grief on, and you can't win in officiating in any sport, but worst is basketball. We've really worked hard. We've tried to get more officials from all over the area, a lot of young officials, and what's really happened in the last decade in officiating is we find a young breed of real professional officials. They work very hard at it. They have great pre-games. They go to clinics in the summer. They do a great job. They're in much better shape. Fortunately, they don't look like the commissioner. They keep their bodies in good shape, and they really work hard, and they have high integrity. And the problem that you mentioned that we've created is that we've got so many good ones, they've moved into Division I, and that has occurred around Omaha a lot. We have about 3 Omaha officials that are now working Division I, and so we don't get them as often. But it's a nice problem to know that our people are that good and they're moving up, but I have to convince the fans and the coaches that they're that good now.
Well, it's a great conference, and Noel Olson, thanks for joining us, and it's been a great pleasure for us here at ETV to bring the North Central Conference to the folks of this region.
Well, we thank you for doing that, and it's always a pleasure to talk about the North Central Conference. It's very dear to my heart, of course.
All right, best of luck to you. Again, we're at halftime here of tonight's basketball game between the University of Nebraska-Omaha and South Dakota State. We'll continue with halftime activities after this.
When it comes to charitable giving, Americans place education as their highest priority. When giving to the arts and culture, they place public television as their highest priority. No surprise, then, that South Dakotans know and trust the value of public television. Your membership in Friends helps create and sustain quality programming. To become a friend, just write us at Friends, Box 5000, Brookings, South Dakota, 57006, for education, culture, and the arts.
Come join me around my old parlor piano as we sing such lovable family favorites as Come to Me, My Couch Potato Baby, Sayonara, Old New York, and Give My Regards to Baghdad. I've dusted off the old sheet music, so gather the family together and dust off Grandpa as we dip into the Mark Russell songbook, only on public television.
Coming in March.
Next time on Masterpiece Theater, Leslie Titmuss is back, and he's in love. But trouble is brewing in paradise.
We'll get together and fight you. You're scaring me to death.
Titmuss Regained on Masterpiece Theater.
Join us Sunday night at 9.
The circus is coming to town.
Red Hot, here's where you get your Red Hot.
Daredevil acrobats, exotic trained animals, a fat lady paid by the pound. Watch the spectacular Barnum's Big Top. Next time on The American Experience.
Monday at 8. For TV worth watching, stay tuned to South Dakota Public Television.
Halftime activities continue here at the UNO Fieldhouse as the Mavericks are taking on the Jackrabbits in North Central Conference action. Joining me now is the athletic director at the University of Nebraska-Omaha, Dr. Robert Gibson. And Bob, we talked about it last night, and everybody's talking about the North Central Conference race in basketball. UNO was picked 7th in the league at the beginning of the season. They're in the thick of things. This is getting real interesting around here.
I think it's a typical season for NCC. It's always this way. I don't care where you go. You think you got the advantage at home. You come home, it's just like us losing last night. South Dakota State goes out to Northern Colorado, and we both get beat. So that's the way it is.
This has been a good, solid year, though, for Bob Hansen's team.
Oh, very good. And I think that Bob always does an excellent job, and he brings the kids along, and I think they're playing to their capabilities. And, you know, it's always kind of tough when you lose one. But, no, I think the kids work hard. I think they've got good chemistry, and it's kind of fun to watch them.
Of course, there's a lot more activities that go on here in UNO sports than just men's basketball. Right now, you got wrestling, and you've got a pretty good program up here.
Oh, we have an excellent program. I don't know that there's anybody that's a better coach than Coach Denny is. Tonight they're at Michigan, wrestling at Michigan against all Division I schools, and because we won the national championship last year in Division II, then we get the opportunity to go up there. So Mike was really excited, and all the players were excited to go and play.
And of course, Sherry Mankenberg, our old friend here at ETV, is doing very well with the women's basketball team this year as well.
Yes, Sherry's team this year is a little bit different than the past. I think they're in excellent shape. They run all the time, and coming down to the very end, I think they've played in some tight ball games. The last 2 or 3 games have really been tough, but they played against the first team in the nation in women, the 8th team in the nation, and then last night again. So it's a tough league. It's the same thing with the women as it is in the men's.
There's so much more going on in athletics in the North Central Conference, and we touched on it last night a little bit too, in the fact that University of Nebraska-Omaha and the other teams in the league give other players and other athletes in the region a chance to compete in-state and keep them home and continue the in-state pride.
Right, and it's you know, a lot of times I think people think about the Division I and they think about Nebraska, but we have an excellent program here in Division II, both football and basketball, the women's basketball, volleyball. I mean, you go up and down the line, and as far as the North Central Conference is concerned, I think we are probably the toughest conference, top to bottom, in all sports, so in Division II. So it's an excellent opportunity for our people and for the young kids in Nebraska, because most of the time we do have a lot of Nebraska kids that play.
What are some of the future plans that you have for the UNO athletic program?
Well, what we would like to do, first of all, is get it back on financial base a little bit, because it's really tough. We got some cuts several years back in 84 and 85 and then in 86 and 87, so we're working to try and get some money back on that. We certainly would like to add some sports. Right now we're at a minimum of being in the North Central Conference with 4 in the women and 4 in the men, so that's one of our priorities, to try and do that. We would like to possibly expand the field house there and maybe get some new offices and some weight room areas, but those are things that we're working on.
Well, continued success down the road.
Thanks a lot, Bill.
We're talking with UNO Athletic Director Dr. Robert Gibson. We're at halftime here of tonight's game between South Dakota State and the University of Nebraska at Omaha. We'll have second half action coming up right after this.
Their rituals are strange and exotic. We call them primitive and backward. Yet tribal societies in many ways are more advanced than our own. Coming in May, Millennium, a new 10-hour series explores tribal wisdom in the modern world. Hosted by Harvard anthropologist David Mabry Lewis, Millennium journeys around the globe to compare contemporary culture to the tribal world. Millennium, coming in May.
Next time on Masterpiece Theater, Leslie Titmus returns to conquer new ground in politics and love.
We seem to be ridiculously happy together.
The Rapstone Valley. It's the boss's back garden. Might be interesting to hand our Secretary of State a political hot potato.
We'll get together and fight you. You're scaring me to death.
Titmus Regained on Masterpiece Theater.
That's Sunday at 9. Tuesday on South Dakota Primetime, join Jill Halstead and Pierre for an in-depth look at the top issues facing the 1992 legislature. Lawmakers will be on hand to answer your questions live from the state capitol. That's Tuesday night at 9 Central, 8 Mountain on South Dakota Primetime.
Hello, this is Garrison Keillor. My radio show is coming to television, believe it or not, a show filled with odd humor by bald guys and terrific music by the young and handsome and stories by guys who talk slow. So please join us.
Join us Wednesday at 8. You're watching one of the 8 stations of the South Dakota Public Television Network.
Bill Dolman and Steve Roth back at the UNO Fieldhouse in Omaha, Nebraska. The South Dakota State Jackrabbits lead UNO 30-25 as halftime activities wind down here. Your views are important to us, so take a few moments now and call us at area code 402-472-7777 with your comments about this telecast. Help us continue to bring you quality programs on Nebraska Public Television. That number again is 402-472-7777. Take a look at the halftime stats, and the big number that you look at, field goal percentage. South Dakota State 54%, UNO just 33%. That's the big key right now.
And I think Phil Cartwright is the one who struggled probably the most, and not just pointing at Phil, but he's such a key player to him. If he can pick up his shooting inside and make a big difference.
Cartwright has been the red-hot Maverick for UNO the last part, or this later part of the season.
Unofficially, South Dakota State being led in scoring by Chris White with 11. Jeff Boer has 7 for UNO. Mike Conley with 7. Phil Cartwright with 7. Conley with the 2 3-pointers. South Dakota State also with 2 3-pointers, 1 apiece for White and Boer. So pretty balanced as far as 3-point shots concerned.
You missed a 3-pointer for Conley. He has 10 points to lead UNO in scoring. And again, Chris White, the leading scorer for the Jackrabbits with 11. Boer has added 9. South Dakota State will inbound the ball to begin the second half. They lead it by 5, 30-25. Bowman, Boer, White, Leiferman, and Counts on the floor for the Jacks. It's Walker, Cartwright, Conley, Elrod, and Mott starting the second half for UNO, and quickly a turnover on South Dakota State, and UNO with the chance to cut into the lead. South Dakota State again will pick up that trapping pressure defense that caused some problems for UNO. At one point in the first half, in case you weren't with us, South Dakota State led 17-5 with 9.5 minutes remaining. Bob Hansen called timeout. UNO got on track, cut that lead to 1. South Dakota State got some big buckets, and there's a shot that's missed by Elrod, and South Dakota State wants to run. The latter part of the first half, the lead got up to 7, and that's where it stayed for much of the half. And a foul is going to be called here on Thad Mott. First foul of the half on the Mavericks.
Well, UNO really needed to take advantage of that last turnover. Instead, South Dakota State able to get a turnover themselves. And there it looked like maybe Mott got all the ball. Instead, he'll be whistled for the foul. And with Walker with 2 fouls and Thad Mott picking up a foul here, UNO will have to be careful not to get their point guards in too much foul trouble.
And they'll have to be careful not to foul this guy. Chris White coming in, hitting 90% of his free throws on the season. He's only missed 7 free throws in North Central Conference play. First free throw is good, and that gives South Dakota State a 31-25 lead. Second one on its way. It's also good. The lead is up to 7 again. 19.5 to play. This is Walker, the point guard, working on Bowman and Counts. That leaves somebody open for the Mavericks, and it's Conley. Conley, the outside shooter for UNO in the first half, hit those 2 threes. Those were both big shots that got UNO back into the ballgame. Conley drives on Counts, dishes back outside to Walker. He's not afraid to take it in there, off the glass and in, and he's fouled. Big play by Ron Walker. They list him at 5'9". I don't think so, but he plays like a big man when he gets down low.
Interesting, last night he had those 19 points, and that's his first 2 of tonight, but he's done so many other key things. Great job of just penetrating in there. Nice soft touch of bringing it down a little bit and then up underneath and gets the roll.
Missed the free throw. Elrod almost picked off the rebound. The lead is back to 5, 32-27. This is Bowman spreading out the South Dakota State offense. They'll go the other way to Counts, trying to get the ball to Chris White. He has it now. He'll take the 3 and miss it. Rebound knocked around. Bauman saves it. He stepped on the line. UNO will have the basketball.
Bauman might have been more advised to leave that one go out. It might have been, I think it was last touch by a UNO player. Mams get a break there, and very important for UNO to stay close in this game. Again, they cannot afford to get behind by very much.
They didn't do that last night against Augustana in that loss. In fact, the lead got away from him, or the deficit got away from him, and it got to 18 points at one time in the ball game. They need to keep it close here. 32-27. Walker going on Bauman, and he's fouled by Troy Bauman.
The Walker creating a lot of things for UNO here early, Bill, and I think you touched on that in their pregame, in fact, how important he is. Does a nice job of switching hands on the ball, puts it between his leg and draws the foul. So Walker just doing a good job of ball handling, and Bauman will come out of the game now for the Jacks.
2 fouls now on the starting point guard for South Dakota State, and Shannon Dana checks in. UNO inbounding the ball underneath their own basket. Having a tough time doing it. Interesting that UNO has Walker inbounding the ball at 5'9", especially underneath the bucket like that. This is Cartwright. Ball knocked around off the glass. It won't go. Rebound pulled down by Conley, and he's fouled by Counts.
Cartwright continues to struggle underneath. Conley did a great job of guarding the weak side of the basket, something UNO didn't do against UNK when we saw him earlier. Look at Conley. Great job of blocking out and getting the weak side hoop. Had they not fouled him, he would have went right back up for the bucket.
Third team foul of the half on South Dakota State. Mott's shot is no good. Cartwright had a chance at the rebound. It was knocked away, and White wants to run. Mott is back. Off the glass and in. Sweet touch by Chris White. The lead is back to 7, 34-27.
You can't defend that any better than Thad Mott did, yet White's still able to get the hoop. That's how good Chris White is.
15 points in the game for Chris White. He comes in averaging better than 23. This is Mott. Out top to Cartwright. Walker drives baseline. Quick jumper is up and in. Nice shot by Ron Walker. So now the Mavs matching the Jacks basket for basket. 2.5 minutes into the second half. White inside. Over Walker. It doesn't go. Walker gets the rebound. Off to Thad Mott. Drives in off the glass. It won't go, but he's fouled by Shannon Dana.
UNO doing a good job of forcing South Dakota State to foul them a lot here early. Mott just penetrating to the lane. They were going to make sure that Mott didn't get the hoop. And the Jacks will put UNO at the line. Walker did a good job of finding the open man on the pass as well.
Thad Mott steps to the line, 76% free throw shooter. Coming into the game, averaging 8 points a ball game. Free throw is up and in. And Mott is now 3 for 3 in the game from the line. Make it 4 for 4. The lead is now 34-31. Dana dishes off to White. Swing it around to Counts. Leiferman. Good defense by Ryan Elrod. Shut off the passing lane. South Dakota State wanting to go inside. Elrod got burned, though, on the backdoor play. Nice pass in there from Pete Leiferman. 36-31. 3 minutes gone in the second half. Counts picks up Conley. And now Walker, guarded by Shannon Dana. Dana came in when Troy Bauman, the starter, picked up 2 fouls here early on, and Dana's going to be whistled for the foul. That will be 5 team fouls now on South Dakota State. Just over 3 minutes gone in the second half. UNO has only been whistled once.
Walker again showing his quickness and great ball handling ability, and that's the 3rd foul he's drawn now here in the second half. Bill, I think UNO doing a very good job of being patient, but it seems like it's been an uphill struggle the whole game, and each possession seems so crucial for him.
Cartwright down low, drives, and he's fouled. That'll be 16 fouls and 1 more. Then UNO will be in the bonus.
The only problem is, you touched on it earlier, UNO not a great free throw shooting team. And I think in order to win this one, they'll have to hit some free throws tonight. Cartwright doing a good job of going to the hoop. That is his move, that turnaround jumper to the hoop, and draws a foul.
Foul was called on Leiferman. That's his second. Referee indicated foul was on number 54, and that's Pete Leiferman as Cartwright steps to the line and makes the first free throw. Jim Thorson doesn't know who the foul was called on. He came over and signaled 5-4, which would be Leiferman.
You may be able to hear Coach Jim Thorson in our mics once in a while, because Jim's only about 3 feet away from us. And they're still concerned about the call there.
Thorson says that the foul should have been called on Chris Counts, and that's who he substituted for. Counts now sits on the Jack bench. In the meantime, Phil Cartwright waits to shoot the second of 2 free throws. He made the first and follows with the second. The lead is back to 3, 36-33. And again, this game is being played in terms of score on the UNO side. UNO is a team that can be very patient. They're very content to play the game in the 60s or low 70s. South Dakota State likes to chip in about 80 points a ball game. UNO in the man-to-man defense. Leiferman picked up by Cartwright. Bauman's left alone. Cartwright, a good job picking him up, but there's a huge mismatch underneath. That was Leiferman and Ron Walker. This is Leiferman. High over Cartwright. It will go. Cartwright gets the rebound. Outlets to Mott. Nice bounce pass to Walker. Over White. Big shot by Ronnie Walker. Oh, what a play created all the way down the court.
Mott had an outstanding pass in that whole play set up by the great defensive Cartwright. As South Dakota State wants timeout. Jim Thorson doesn't like what he sees. They had the big mismatch underneath, as you said, but Cartwright got back on defense and really was the guy who set that up.
36-35, 16:05 remaining in the ball game. UNO has come out strong here in the second half. South Dakota State out of sync. Be sure to be with us on Nebraska Public Television this Wednesday night for NCAA women's basketball. We'll be in Lincoln as Angela Beck's Nebraska Cornhuskers host the Missouri Tigers at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. These two teams are battling it out near the top of the Big 8 standings as the season is winding down. The Huskers and the Tigers Wednesday at 7 p.m. here on Nebraska Public Television.
We're going to get a chance to see this play again by Walker, as he really got high in the air. You know, Chris Counts is quite a bit taller than he is and also can leap, but Walker's an outstanding leaper. Now look at Cartwright. Gets back on defense, gets the rebound, immediately kicks out. Now Mott will make a fantastic bounce pass between two defenders. Walker picks it up high in the air, scoops it up over top of. That was just great execution and way to finish off the play. So important.
Look at that little guy. Those little guys can do it, you know it?
Hey, they can. I tell you, Mott just really impressed me with that bounce pass between two defenders. The defenders never knew the ball was coming.
Well, we said the play was developed the entire court. You have to credit Phil Cartwright because he was so far out of position defensively, and he came back around and made the play and got the rebound. UNO 50% shooting in the second half. South Dakota State just 2 of 5. The key stat in the first half, UNO's cold field goal shooting under 40%. And the pass is thrown away. Vandewetering trying to hit Leiferman, and coming out of the timeout, South Dakota State turns the basketball over. UNO a chance to take the lead.
It would be their first lead in the game. They just have been uphill the whole game, but they have played much differently here in the second half. A lot of it because of this guy right here with the ball.
Exactly. He went out with 2 fouls, and there he penetrates in, dishes off to Mott, drives around White, forced the pass to Cartwright, and Boer's there to intercept. Boer doesn't have the numbers. The ball gets away from him. This is Bauman. Over Cartwright. Big bucket by Troy Bauman.
Bauman just a sophomore and really showing some real heads-up play there.
UNO breaks the press. Dishes off to Cartwright. Passed up the shot. Now Walker fakes the 3, steps inside for the 2. Misses. And the rebound pulled down by Leiferman. Boer all by himself for the easy 2, and the lead is back up to 5.
That's the thing about South Dakota State. They're very, very explosive, and UNO is just going to have to do a better job on the transition, not getting back on defense. And they had to cut to 1 and goes up by 5 just like that. And South Dakota State has that ability, and that is why UNO cannot afford to get too far behind.
5 minutes gone in the second half. Cartwright turnaround jumper. It won't go. And Cartwright is cold from the field. Walker dishes off to Conley. Nice move along the baseline to Elrod. In and out. Cartwright with the rebound. Bumped around. Mott will try the 3 and hit. .40-38 now. Strange to see Phil Cartwright. He's averaging better than 60% from the field. And he's been cold tonight. Nice job by Vandewetering getting position on Cartwright on the offensive end. And Cory Vandewetering gets 2. The lead is back up to 4, 42-38. 14:07 remaining in the game. UNO spreading out the offense. This is Conley. Drives right, puts the shot up. It won't fall, but a foul is called.
Conley's starting to get into the flow of the game. I'm surprised we haven't seen more of Ray Howard tonight. Ray Howard was the guy that Coach Jim Thorson in South Dakota State said he feared the most. Conley, good move to the hoop, and again, South Dakota State getting in some foul trouble. Boy, Conley just missed his shot, too. Nice soft touch.
One thing about Mike Conley is the fact that because of so many of the lineup changes that UNO has had this season, Conley was inserted into the starting lineup. He started all of the 12 games now in the North Central Conference for UNO, and he's done a good job in his role playing as a scorer, as a defensive player, whatever UNO was needed. He's got a couple of big buckets tonight that kept him in the ballgame in the first half.
Well, about the time I mentioned Ray Howard, into the lineup he comes.
You put him in there. I saw you do that. You ran down there, you put Ray Howard into the lineup. Howard comes in, and he'll come back out. Question as to who Howard was checking in for, and he is going to come in for that man, Mike Conley. Conley will step to the line to shoot a pair of free throws. Howard will have to wait his turn. Tony Stubblefield has come in for UNO. Ron Walker goes to the bench. He's been the spark plug here in the second half. Conley misses the first free throw, and Howard will have to wait even longer. Rebound pulled down by Vandewetering, and Chris White will run the point for South Dakota State. Inside 14 minutes to play, SDSU with a 4-point lead on UNO. Ryan Natchez is checked in, swings it around to Boer, guarded by Elrod. Shot won't fall. Vandewetering with the rebound, blocked by Cartwright. Vandewetering gets his own rebound, puts it up, won't go. Cartwright with the rebound. Well, he can't make the shots inside, but he's pulling down the rebound. Elrod fouled by White.
Boy, this game has been really a very physical game, and I think primarily because of its intensity. And the players have kept their heads pretty good for the most part. But Elrod really goes flying in the air and able to draw the foul. It's amazing to me, Bill, that South Dakota State already in the 1-on-1. They have 18 fouls with 13 minutes plus to go yet in this half. UNO has committed only 1 foul so far.
So the Mavericks will spend the rest of this half at the free throw line. And keep in mind the 2-shot rule now after 10 fouls and a half. Ryan Elrod to the line. Sophomore from Lincoln Northeast. First free throw's on the way. It's good. That cuts the lead to 3. Elrod on the season hitting 62% of his free throws, which is exactly what the UNO team average is.
His first point in the game, but Coach Bob Hansen told me Elrod has been so much of an improved defensive player, he doesn't care so much about his offense.
And the lead is down to 2, 42-40, 13 and a half to play. UNO with some token pressure, broken easily by South Dakota State. And White will set up the offense, guarded by Elrod. UNO in that man-to-man defense. This is Natchez. And Howard picks him up, and UNO is going to trap. Ball knocked away by Cartwright. Elrod taps it out of bounds. It'll be South Dakota State basketball. UNO turned the dogs loose there when the ball got near the sideline and nearly forced the turnover. Mitch Lane will inbound the ball underneath the South Dakota State basket. He does to Timmerman. Howard knocks it away. This is White. Now along the baseline, it's Lane for 3. Mitch Lane, the freshman, with a big three-pointer. The lead is back up to 5.
Mitch Lane, an outstanding shooter, had 54 points in a game in the state tournament in Colorado.
And that trapping defense by South Dakota State forces a turnover and a chance to increase that lead again. So just as soon as UNO gets to within 2 or 3 points, South Dakota State answers back with a flurry of their own. And UNO again trapping. Now 3 men guarding Lane. That leaves somebody open. It's Vandewetering cans the jumper. He wanted a foul. But the lead is back up to 7 now, 47-40.
Cartwright's had a little trouble guarding Vandewetering in the lane.
And a lot of this has happened since Ron Walker has gone to the bench for UNO. Inside to Cartwright. Good job controlling the basketball. Finally gets a shot to fall. And again, it's important that this lead not get away from UNO if they want to stay in the game. South Dakota State's just a good shooting basketball team, but they can start to bury a team if they start hitting their jumpers. They've been cold early here in the second half, however.
Bill, we've touched on it several times, and that's the pace of the game. South Dakota State has been able to get the spurts when they can beat UNO's transition defense, and they did it right there and able to draw the foul. And I think that's the thing that UNO has to do, is stop that transition and keep the game slowed down. As we did see Walker come back in the game now for UNO.
Mitch Lane goes to the line, 70% on the season. South Dakota State 47, UNO 42. And that's the way it stays. And even 12 minutes remaining in the ball game. Bill Dolman and Steve Roth with you here on Nebraska ETV at the UNO Fieldhouse in Omaha, Nebraska. Lane hit that big three-pointer moments ago. Misses both free throws, and Cartwright pulls down the rebound. And UNO wants to run now. Mott coming down the left side. Nice move on Lane. Missed the layup, though. And the ball will go over to South Dakota State. Todd Hansen didn't like the call.
Thad Mott that time might have been better off passing the ball. It might have forced it up a little bit.
The lead remains 5. Timmerman swings it over to Natchez. Cartwright fronting Leiferman. They're trying to get the ball inside. Off balance shot by White won't go, but a foul is called on Thad Mott.
He'll get 3 free throws out of this as Mott got him as he was shooting behind the three-point lines.
Now they changed shooting too.
They were so excited about it. It appeared they were going to get 3 out of it. But they will put Chris White to the line. South Dakota State has only shot 4 free throws in the second half so far. They're 2 of 4. Meanwhile, UNO has hit 16 of 14 for the game and 6 of 8 here in the second half.
Mike Conley comes back in for Thad Mott, who committed his second foul of the game. 3 team fouls now on UNO. South Dakota State is already over the limit with 11.5 to play. Chris White, 15 points in the game, shooting the first of 2. He's 2 for 2, now 3 for 3 in the game from the line. The lead is up to 6. A year ago, Chris White was the North Central Conference Newcomer of the Year. In fact, his first ball game for South Dakota State, he scored 33 points. He's only scored under double digits once in over 50 games with South Dakota State. Now White goes to the bench as he makes his second free throw. And Troy Ballman comes back into the lineup for South Dakota State. 49-42, 11.5 minutes to play in the game. Must-win situation, especially for UNO, with 5 losses already in the conference.
South Dakota State trying to trap Ron Walker, and he's been doing a pretty good job of recognizing the trap and dribbling out of traffic, but having a little trouble right now is Howard.
Gets it to Cartwright, the safety valve, and now UNO will set up the offense. South Dakota State led 30-25 at the half. UNO cut that lead down to as many as 1. And it's back up to 7. Now 11 minutes remaining in the game. This is Conley. Offense really spread out. This is Walker with the jump shot. He gets it.
Walker had no points in the first half, has 8 here in the second half, and has really keyed the Mavericks. But again, they keep climbing up that hill, and that's going to wear them out. And I think South Dakota State able to substitute much more than UNO.
Backdoor cut to Ballman. He gets it off the glass, and he's fouled by Ray Howard.
Well, a good job by Bauman going strong to the hoop, and Howard might have been ill-advised on that one as he just wasn't going to get there. Nice pass by Leiferman inside. Bauman going strong to the hoop. That was very important as well.
Tries to complete the three-point play, and he doesn't do it. Ball knocked around. Howard pulls down the rebound, and now Walker wants to run. UNO doesn't have the numbers, however. Walker doesn't care, and he picks up a foul. It'll be called on Troy Bauman. That'll be his third, 9th team foul of the half on South Dakota State.
Foul situation really starting to swing in UNO's favor. Walker again. Man, look at that. 3 guys on him, and had they not fouled him, he would have got the hoop. Walker just is so quick.
Walker from the line, shooting the 1-on-1, misses the free throw. Mitch Lane with the rebound. Those are critical shots when you get those free throws for UNO. They almost blew a game a couple of weeks ago. They missed 7 of 18 free throws in the last 5 minutes of a ball game and nearly lost it. Ballman underneath. Howard on him, and Ballman gets his second basket in the paint in a row. And the lead is now 9, 53-44 with 10 minutes to play.
And Leiferman got away with an offensive foul there as he elbowed his way out of traffic.
Inside 10 minutes now. Stubblefield over to Walker. UNO slowing things down just a little bit here now. Conley. Stubblefield swings it back around. Trying to get inside to Cartwright. Now he has a turnaround jumper is up and in.
UNO really needed that just to get some confidence. Plus, each possession beginning to be very important as we're down to 9:36. And UNO, again, trying to stay tight, but they just cannot afford to keep climbing that hill. It's going to wear them out.
53-46, South Dakota State. Natchez guarded by Stubblefield. South Dakota State working a lot of backdoor cuts against this UNO defense. Leiferman. Howard intercepts the pass. Out that pass to Ron Walker. Ballman giving chase, and Walker with the easy 2. 53-48, back down to 5.
And Walker in double digits with 10, all of those coming here in the second half. So, Bill, you told me he impressed you so much last night against Augustana. He's certainly doing it again tonight.
He really gets in there and he makes things happen. He's this 5'9" junior from Wichita, Kansas, and now we're going to have a foul called on UNO. But it's a different basketball team when Juan Walker is on the court and when he's off. He really makes things happen.
He's another example of the junior college players that have done so well for Coach Bob Hansen. As we're going to see, it looks like Walker, no.
Tony Stubblefield
coming in there to get the foul. Yeah, Walker might have got away with one earlier, but Stubblefield just kind of went in there head first.
They may have called the foul earlier on Ray Howard, so Stubblefield got away with one. This is Notches for three. It doesn't go. Ball knocked away from Howard, and Bauman gets the rebound. This is Notches in the lane. Steps up and hits the two. 55-48. The lead is back up to 7, 8.5 minutes remaining.
Now again, each possession becoming crucial. South Dakota State goes back into his zone, so that we've seen a lot of zone out of him. I don't think Bob Hansen expected that.
Walker for three, hits. 55-51. Ron Walker had 7 points in game one up in Brookings against South Dakota State. Since then, he has now hit double figures in 7 of his last 10 ball games, including 19 last night against Augustana. Backdoor cut. Timmerman has an easy shot. Makes it. Good job by Brad Timmerman to get open on the play, and the lead is back up to 6 now, 57-51.
And the problem with that, Bill, is when UNO's defense lets them put so much pressure on their offense, and their offense hasn't been cooking a whole lot.
Good catch by Howard. Forces it too hard off the glass, and the rebound pulled down by Mitch Lane. Outlet pass to Notches. Cartwright's the only man back for UNO. Notches pulls up. Misses the jumper, gets his own rebound. Swings it around. Too far out of Mitch Lane's reach. And the turnover goes back to Nebraska-Omaha.
UNO actually got a little lucky on that, Bill, because they didn't get back on defense. South Dakota State didn't recognize the numbers, and now we're going to see Bob Hansen go to his bench. He'll bring in 3 new players, and I think for the first time tonight we'll see Hans Gertz.
Sven Bondi, Hans Gertz, and Thad Mott check in for UNO. On the floor for the Mavericks now, Walker, Bondi, Gertz, Mott, and Conley. South Dakota State with Notches, Lane, Vandewetering, 44 comes in for Leiferman.
And Bill, I'll be real honest, I don't think right now the UNO has anybody in there that can match up with Vandewetering. And they may see South Dakota State on the offensive end go to him quite frequently.
Turnovers relatively even through 3/4 of this game. This is Gertz. Kicks it out to Walker, now swinging around to Mott, and Mott and Conley misunderstand each other, and that creates a turnover. South Dakota State, their lead is 6. 7 minutes remaining in the game. The Jacks led by as many as 12 in the first half. UNO cut that down to 1. They cut the lead to 1 again earlier in the second half, but they just haven't been able to get any closer to take the lead. Foul is called here on Thad Mott. That'll be his 3rd. And the 16th foul of the half on the Mavericks.
Now UNO going to put South Dakota State in the 1-on-1 situation from here on out, or at least give them a chance to go to the foul line after the next foul.
Timmerman turnaround jumper, sweep touch goes. And the lead is up to 9, 59-51.
I would say, Bill, at this point, every offensive possession becomes very, very crucial for UNO. They just can't afford not to score.
South Dakota State back in the man. Gertz will take the long jumper and miss it. Bondi scraps for the rebound. And it's off South Dakota State. UNO maintains possession. Hansen has had his say with Phil Cartwright, and he checks back in. And Gertz will come out.
I don't think Bob Hansen wanted that outside shot by Gertz on that last possession. They can't really afford to take that shot when you're down by 8 points with only 6+ minutes left.
Conley inbounds to Walker. Chris White guarding him. This is Cartwright. Mott swings it around to Conley. Walker again for 3. And again he hits. Boy, how many times can he answer the call?
I got him for 16 points again, all those here in the second half, and he has been Mr. Key.
59-54, coming up on the 6-minute mark remaining. Vandewetering, wild shot won't go. Bondi with the rebound. Bondi's not afraid to mix it up down low, is he?
For good reason.
Walker drives the lane. Wild shot up the glass and in. 18 for Ron Walker.
Well, keep that one for the highlight tape because that was an unbelievable play. Didn't think he had a chance of making it.
And Walker will be called for the foul on the defensive end. 59-56. So as soon as South Dakota State gets that lead up to 8 to 9 points, Ron Walker answers back for UNO. Check it out again. Drives the lane. There's the foul. Walker trying to get those quick hands, just not quick enough. 5.5 minutes remaining. Leiferman getting set to check back in for South Dakota State. Ron Walker, a 5'9" junior, as I said, from Wichita, Kansas. Played his junior college ball at Labette Community College in Parsons. His first-team all-conference performer there.
Bob Hansen said another thing about Ron Walker. He made the transition so well. Chris White with 17 points of the night, trying to add to it.
White, a 90% free throw shooter, misses the shot, and I think that was kind of unexpected. Both teams now in the bonus. UNO over the limit. 19 fouls on the Jacks, 7 on the Mavs. 59-56, a chance to tie for UNO if they can hit the 3. They'll look for the 2, though. Cartwright, turnaround jumper in the paint, doesn't go. Bondi crashes the board. Lane gets the rebound.
Not Phil Cartwright's night. He's had 2 rather poor shooting nights in a row. Very unusual for him.
5 minutes remaining. Lane. Now to Boer. Jeff Boer is also checked in for South Dakota State. Lane swinging around offensively. UNO in the man defense. White guarded by Mott. Mott has 3 fouls in the game. White drives. Leaning jumper. Won't fall for him, but he draws the 4th foul on Thad Mott.
To be real honest, that looked very close to being an offensive foul as Chris White leaned into him, but White, outstanding player. We get a chance to see it here. Mott gets his feet set. No, it looks like, no, it was a foul on Thad Mott. He just didn't get quite set.
Might have been all right if he hadn't jumped up that second time. He just stayed on the floor right there, but he came back up and bodied him. Well, White has had a rarity. Missed just his 8th shot from the line in conference plays last time. Makes up for it here and extends the South Dakota State lead to 4, 60-56.
UNO has held Chris White to just 1 field goal in this half, but he's come up with 5 free throws and most likely 6.
Second one on the way. He hits them both. 61-56 South Dakota State. This is Bondi. South Dakota State breaking that, or Omaha breaking the South Dakota State press. Knocked away by Boer. Great defensive play by Jeff Boer. He comes into the game averaging 5 steals a contest, which is almost incredible.
Joe, you really give South Dakota State a real tip of the cap for playing so well on the road. They just have not let UNO make the big rush and break by less than 3 or 2 points. They've been able to maintain the lead as they throw the ball away here. But I think when you're on the road and able to keep the lead, that really says something for your intensity.
And really hasn't gotten the crowd into this game much. Walker has helped hitting the big shots. Maybe we have some of those Girl Scouts back here with those high-pitched voices that were screeching in that women's game earlier. That might distract them a little bit. Ball loose on the floor. Walker comes away with it. Back outside to Mott. Bondi with Leiferman on him. And knocked away by Leiferman. Bad decision by Sven Bondi. 61-56, South Dakota State. Inside 4 minutes to play. UNO out-rebounding the Jackrabbits by 4. South Dakota State, not a great rebounding team, but they're holding their own against UNO, who has the best rebounder in the league, and Phil Cartwright. White's jumper is good.
Bill, right now we're a very, very crucial part of the ball game. If UNO doesn't convert almost every time down the floor, I think it's over for them. So right now the Mavericks just have to do the job right here.
Walker gets the roll and the bucket. 63-58, 3:19 to play, and Bob Hansen calls timeout.
Unofficially, I have Ron Walker for 20 points all in this half.
And we mentioned earlier he had 2 fouls in the first half, and he went to the bench, and UNO had a tough time in getting into their offense against South Dakota State's defense. Walker comes in, and he's having a big game here in the second half. For the 23rd consecutive year, Nebraska Public Television will bring you the State High School Wrestling Tournament from the Bob Devaney Sports Center in Lincoln. Top grapplers from around the state will be competing for that gold medal that signifies them as the best in Nebraska. So join us Saturday, February 22nd, live at 1:30 p.m. for the 1992 Nebraska High School Wrestling Tournament here on Nebraska Public Television.
Bill, I think the NETV crew does such a great job of covering the state wrestling tournament, too, and one of the great things is that March of the Champions they always have. Well, Jim Thorson trying to steal one on the road, and boy, South Dakota State would really put a feather in a cap with a win tonight because UNO, one of the teams chasing in the hunt, and of course a chance to get a road victory and would put them right with a chance to get the lead back again. Bob Hansen knows they lose this one tonight, the North Central Conference Championship might be out of their hands.
And of course, Jim Thorson's Jackrabbits are playing in front of the home crowd tonight. We'd like to welcome all our neighbors to the north watching on South Dakota Public Television. Al Kurtz and his staff are working hard to bring you a variety of great programming, including South Dakota State basketball. So let those good folks at South Dakota Public Television know of your support for their statewide network. Bill Dolman and Steve Roth with you here at the UNO Fieldhouse in Omaha, Nebraska. South Dakota State leading UNO 63-58. 3:15 remaining in the ball game. Field goal percentage has increased here for South Dakota State here in the latter stages of the half. And Chris White tries to add to that, gets his own rebound, loses control and his footing. Mott knocks it away. Lane retrieves. That was the key stat in the first half. Field goal shooting. UNO just over 30%. South Dakota State hitting 54% in the first half. Now we're inside 3 minutes remaining in the ball game. Again, South Dakota State tied for second in the North Central Conference. UNO hanging on to their title hopes, tied for fourth place. South Dakota is the team leading. Boer traveled in the lane, got away with it, and a foul will be called, charging on Jeff Boer.
Mott did a good job getting position in there and drew the charge. And that's something that UNO just has to have right now is turnovers on South Dakota State. Mott is set there early, got there, saw him coming, able to draw the charge. And that's something, again, they're going to have. But now UNO is going to have to hit some free throws. Again, look at Mott got there early. He saw right where he's going, put himself in position, drew the charge. And boy, Mott just seems to see quite a bit of the court.
63-58, South Dakota State leading the Mavericks, 2:32 remaining in the ball game.
Mott has hit 4 free throws so far in the game, and needless to say, he pretty much needs these.
And he hits the first. Big play by him to draw that charge, too, because he has 4 fouls.
You said how important it was, too, that now UNO will get 2 free throws every trip because of the 10-foul rule.
63-60. And the Mavs increase that pressure defense. Ball knocked away by Walker. Boer retrieves. Vandewetering missed the jam. Lane with the rebound. Over Cartwright. It won't go. Lane recovers. Good scrappy play by the freshman Mitch Lane. Boy, he's come in here and played like a veteran for South Dakota State. Made some big buckets and played some very hustling basketball. Coming up on the 2-minute mark. Bauman off the glass and in. The lead is 5.
Bauman has played great here in the second half. He has 8 points in the half, 12 for the ball game, and he's come up with some key buckets. Big possession for UNO.
Walker dishes off to Conley. Shot is partially blocked. Rebound by Boer, and he's fouled immediately.
I think that's what's going to happen now. It'll pretty much be determined at the free throw line from here on out. But I think the key has been South Dakota State's ability to continue to keep the lead despite being on the road. Nice rebound by the Jackrabbits, and Cartwright, I believe, did the smart thing in getting the foul. UNO players realizing with time, yep, Cartwright went right in there and made sure he got the foul. That was a smart play by Phil.
He'll be shooting left-handed, won't he?
But it seemed like South Dakota State, when they needed a hoop, has gotten it tonight, and that has been the whole key for them. And now they need the free throws and hit those. And I think it just shows the talent and depth. The thing I think South Dakota State has shown tonight is they have about 10 players they can go to. I mean, they just have so many different players. Chris White hasn't been the show by any stretch.
Boer missed his second. The lead is 6, 66-60. Double field. And a blocking foul is called on Troy Bauman. That'll be his 4th foul. Jim Thorson doesn't like it. Nobody from South Dakota likes it. The folks who travel down here from Brookings don't like it. They're all up in the stands. And I got to tell you, it looked like he may have had position here on Tony Stubblefield. We'll see it here. Oh, and he did. We'll keep our monitors turned this way.
I imagine what the people up in South Dakota watching on public television are saying at their TV sets right now.
Folks, we agree with you.
It was a tough situation, but the hardest call in basketball by far. And a missed free throw, but again, UNO getting 2 opportunities every trip now.
Stubblefield, a good guy to foul, though, hitting just 37% from the line this season. He missed the first and the second, and that was crucial. Vandewetering pulls down the rebound, and now UNO really has to foul and put him on the line. This is Bauman to White. They break the press easily.
Now they have to foul once they get it across that line. They're just letting too much time go off the clock.
And they're letting White take possession of the basketball. He's the guy they don't want to foul. Walker now guarding Bauman. Cartwright tried to get the foul. Bauman in the lane. It won't go. Cartwright with the rebound. Ball knocked around, and a foul will be called on Cory Vandewetering.
And a big break for UNO because they get a chance to score with the clock stopped. So a huge break for UNO.
66-60, a minute 12 remaining. There's Cartwright scrapping for the rebound, and Vandewetering just getting his hand in there. The executive producer of NETV Sports is Steve Alvis. Tonight's game has been produced and directed by Jim Carmichael. Our unit director is Martha Florence, and the remote engineer in charge is the debonair Dan Wright. So we got that in now. 66-60. Now can the Mavs get the free throws in? Cartwright makes the first of 2. The lead is cut to 5.
UNO doing a good job at the free throw line in this half. Cartwright now has hit 6 of 7 free throws.
Make it 7 of 8. The lead is 4. Coming up on the 1-minute mark, Mitch Lane getting it to White. Boer. South Dakota State breaks the press, and the Mavericks are trying to foul. White dishes off to Lane. Passes up the shot. And UNO needs to foul, and that's not the guy they need to foul, but they do it anyway.
You know, and the tough thing about that situation was they might have been able not to foul and possibly get 5 seconds because with Cartwright standing there and 2 other guys blocking him, I'm not so sure Chris White would have got the ball. Look at that. Good defense. I don't think Chris White had anybody to throw to, but as you mentioned, it was not the guy they want to foul.
53 seconds remaining. South Dakota State 66, UNO 62. Chris White steps to the line. UNO now 10 team fouls in the half. So he'll shoot a pair. 22 points on the evening. He has missed a free throw, and he's now missed 2.
I was just about to say it looked like he had his miss on the night, but now he's had 2 of them. UNO may have to start pumping up the threes, though.
Second one goes 67-62. 2 possessions needed for the Mavs. Walker against the defense. Lobs one to Cartwright. Mott, he can hit the 3. Misses. Walker with the rebound. Shoots the 3 high over White. Cartwright with the rebound. Put back and in. A timeout called by UNO. Well, they wanted the 3 on that possession. And they didn't get it. They did get the 2. Now a chance, though, 1 possession will tie the game up for them. 39 seconds remaining.
This is always a tough decision, too. How soon do you foul in this situation? But I think the real key is don't foul Chris White.
Well, he's shown he's human. He's missed a couple already tonight.
Don't want to take your chances, though, I don't think. I still would go for somebody else.
NCAA basketball on NETV is brought to you in part by Nebraskans for Public Television. Join over 33,000 contributing members of NPTV with your financial support of quality programs like Nova, Sesame Street, Austin City Limits, and all statewide sports coverage. You can become a member of this elite group by writing to Post Office Box 83111, Lincoln, Nebraska 68501. Nebraska Public Television, it's TV worth watching. And this has been another basketball game here on ETV that's been worth watching. We've had a great deal of luck this year. You know, we've had a couple of women's games that have gone down to the wire. And now this men's game, UNO has just not been able to get into the lead and take the lead away from South Dakota State. They've been close, though.
Bill, as you know, last time we saw UNO went into overtime. They get a steal here, hit the 3-pointer. We may have the same situation.
South Dakota State missing 8 free throws on the night. So far, that's been key. That's why UNO is still in the game. This is Boer. He's fouled by Cartwright. South Dakota State wants an intentional foul. They won't get it.
You know, and that's always been a real puzzle to me, is it seems like unless you tackle somebody, you don't get an intentional. Well, look at this. He grabs his arm. Cartwright reaches out, grabs his arm. And, you know, that's not intentional, but it's a very difficult decision, and you can't really blame the officials. It's just been hard to get an interpretation. What is an intentional foul?
Well, if you're going to foul anybody for South Dakota State, Jeff Boer is the man to do it, hitting just 64% from the line. Otherwise, the Jackrabbits are pretty good from the free throw line. Pretty good shooting team all the way around. 34 seconds remaining in the game, and South Dakota State with a 3-point lead, and Boer will shoot 2.
One statistic I wish we always had on players is what they shoot from the free throw line in the last 2 minutes as he misses the first free throw.
Short on that one. He makes it here. It's a 2-possession game for UNO, and he does.
And UNO needs to keep in mind they do not have to have a 3 here, because they got to have 2 possessions no matter what. So what they should try to do is at least get 2.
Cartwright, turnaround jumper off the glass. It won't go. Boy, has he had bad luck tonight. And Lane, the freshman, with the rebound.
That was really tough, because if he makes that, they have a chance. He misses it, I think it's over now. To be real honest with you, 24 seconds. I don't really think UNO has much chance. If he makes that one, they had a great opportunity. And that just bounded out of there. That's enough to make you sick if you feel Cartwright, because that's what's happened to him all night. But South Dakota State doing a good job of getting a rebound.
68-64. Lane goes to the line. Won't get the kind roll. I'll tell you, Mitch Lane, like Ron Walker, has been the spark for both of their teams. He came off the bench, hasn't played a lot of minutes, but he's hit some big shots and got some big rebounds. Probably done bigger than that last one. Makes the second. And it's still a 2-possession game for now for UNO, 69-64. 20 seconds remaining. They need a 3. Walker, Conley, over Leiferman. Well off the mark. South Dakota State with the rebound. And more than likely the win of the ballgame. Blocked by Walker. What a play by the little guy. 7 seconds. Mott attempts the 3. It doesn't go. Vandewetering with the rebound, and time runs out. Well, UNO didn't come close in their last 2 possessions, but boy, did Ron Walker provide us with a great play there now near the end.
It really was. You know, it was awfully close to goaltending on that 3-point attempt, but it wouldn't have made any difference because they needed another possession. Again, South Dakota State and Jim Thorson and his group did a great job of stealing one on the road, and I think Jim Thorson did a super job of getting his substitutes in there. He seemed to make the right moves at the right time, but his Jackrabbits got out in front, built as much as a 12-point lead in that first half, and it was an uphill climb from there. Even though UNO cut it down, they never were really, I don't think they ever had the lead in the game.
No, they didn't.
Never did, and I think that's what hurt them, was never being able to have the lead. They kept climbing, couldn't get over the hill, and the hill was just too big at the end.
69-64 is our final score. South Dakota State improves to 17-4 overall in the season, 8-4 in the conference. More importantly, they're chasing South Dakota, their arch rival. Nebraska-Omaha drops to 12-9 on the season, 6-6 in the conference, and more than